This is Two Birds, One Stone. This is an Arizona Cardinal podcast. And this is a couple of Cardinals fans that are down in the dumps today. The Cardinals had a chance to capture the division. The Niners helped them out huge. They beat the Rams in overtime, opened the window for the Cardinals to just beat a 6-10 Seattle Seahawks team that they beat however many weeks ago on the road with Colt fucking McCoy, and they give up 38 points and lose 38-30. Terrible play in the last 5 minutes of the football game down the stretch when you have to have it. When playoff teams perform like playoff teams, they crumbled, which was example or kind of a correlation with how their whole season went. They crumbled at the end. They lost a shot at the NFC West. They lost a shot at a home playoff game, and they lost all momentum that they built after going to Dallas and beating the Cowboys last week. We've lost to the fucking Detroit Lions in this stretch. We've lost to a Colts team that now you look up and they get blown out by the Jaguars in a must-win game. I have not felt more defeated after a Cardinals game, I think, than this one.
Yeah, this is the worst Cardinals team, or the worst I've thought about this Cardinals team all year, hands down by far. Sucks to say, but I have absolutely 0% faith in any in before we went on this big skid. It was all games I expected to win. Whenever we first started out 7-0, and even after that, even after we lost the first game of Green Bay, I still had an expectation to win, but now there is no expectation at all. There is absolutely no, I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. And at this point, I don't really give a shit. I don't really care. I mean, you kind of talked a little bit before, and I was telling this to you, but this is it's just this team has been the most emotionally draining, just wearing you out. And it's not only the losses, it's the attitude of the players.
And up and down, and we can't find that consistency spot that other teams, good teams, great teams that have runs of success for years, they find that spot and they hit their stride.
And I want to make this clear. I want to make this very clear before I go any further. I've watched bad football and been a very big fan of a lot of bad football. This has nothing to do with wins and losses. It has a little bit to do with all the losses or the wins and losses. It's the majority to do with the non-consistency and the attitude of the team as a whole. It almost has nothing to do with the wins and losses. I don't want to be saying this, and I don't want people to take it and say, "Oh, they're fucking losing ball games, so he doesn't give a fuck about them anymore." No, it's not. Has nothing to do with the wins and losses. It's about the emotion of the team and the attitude and the way
it's two different levels of disappointment. When you're in 2016 or 2017, 2018, those 2019, when you're not expecting anything from that team, so the losses don't hit as hard. Especially after this start, the expectation when you start 6-0, 7-0, 7-1, 10-2, you're expected. My expectation is NFC Championship game. As a Cardinals fan, maybe that's wild to say. When you have these opportunities, we talked about it so much this year. You have the opportunity. The start was there. The players are all there. It's all about the opportunity that you have and what you do with it. And that, this season, if we go out and lay an egg in Los Angeles and lose that game, this season to me will hurt 100 times worse than a 3-13 season in 2018. You know what? Does that make sense to you? It's fucking. It is heartbreaking. It's terrible.
Yeah. Oh no. It feels like somebody died. Somebody died almost. So I don't. I just kind of want to clear that up. I feel like that I was gonna get hit on Twitter for saying, "Oh, I don't give a fuck about them anymore because they've lost all these games in a row." It has nothing to do with the loss. It has, and it's not really even so much disappointment. It's more or less just the attitude of the team, which I keep on saying that. I'm not really describing it the best. It's the attitude and just certain players, which I know that we guys had not to say this, but I know no one's gonna fucking call out Kyler Murray on Twitter because he's the fucking golden boy. But I'm gonna say it right now. He's a great football player, but I feel like he fucking sucks life out of that football team. He has terrible, like retired guy, whoever said it, terrible
Carson
body
Palmer.
language. Carson Palmer, terrible body language. He's a fucking he bitches about every single time he gets touched. He like basically whenever I watch Kyler Murray play football, it's awesome. He's really good, but he reminds me of watching like fucking Russell Westbrook or LeBron James whenever they play basketball. Every time touched, it's hands up in the air. Why are you not calling that? It's exhausting to watch. I'm not out on Kyler Murray. He's still the quarterback in the league. He's still the quarterback of my favorite football team. He's a great football player, but I cannot. No one's gonna fucking say anything about it because he's Kyler Murray. But I will, and I don't. I'm over that side of him. I can't. If that's how he can continue to progress, then I'm over that side. I can't do that shit anymore.
After it was mic'd up in Dallas and he's dapping everybody up, and it seemed like, oh, well, where's the fucking haters now? Look at him being a leader and all that. I was like, well, I was never on the side of he's got bad body language. I was like, that's who he is. We see him pissed off because he's pissed off at fucking losing, and that's the way he should be. I don't want a guy to fucking throw a pick and clap his hands and jog off. I want him to be pissed off. Like, that's fine. Today, I noticed a more so than I think I have any game I've watched him play. A lot, like it was just I saw what people I didn't agree with were at least talking about the way he carries himself and stuff like that. And yeah, no, it doesn't feel good to look at your guy and he is pissed off and slouching and shit like that. But that's kind of besides the point. We'll get into the actual game. I just wanted to, and then we'll get into all the playoff scenarios and everything that ended up happening to the conclusion, because NFC playoff seeding is set now. So we'll get to that. But the game started off great. Chandler Jones on the second play of the game strip sacks Russell Wilson. Zach Allen recovers the fumble, runs it in for a touchdown. 12 seconds into the game, you're up 7-0. They kick the ball back off. Seattle puts a little drive together, and Wilson connects with Lockett. Like all Cardinals have seen, it feels like 2,000 times for like a 40-yard perfect throw touchdown. It's tied up at 7. Mm-hmm. At that point, you're like, okay, we're in for a ride here. It's 7-7. The whole time we're watching that scoreboard in LA. Rams at that time, like early, they got up early on the Niners, 17-0. So when the Cardinals are sitting there at 7-7, it's like, okay, all I'm wanting is a good showing. Like, let's put together a good game, get a win, get some momentum. The division at this point in the game is probably gone because the Rams are up so much. Later on, both teams trade punts following. The Cardinals do put together a good drive. They took their second drive that was like a 12-minute drive. Yeah. Like the longest drive of the season by far. They go for it on 4th and 1 from their own 20. They convert on a James Conner handoff. They go for it from 4th and 4 from midfield. They convert, and then it's at the Seattle 23. It's 4th and 3, and they kick it. Like I said earlier, the end of that game, the way the final drives were managed by Cliff were god awful. At that point in the game, they're moving the ball. You go for it twice already. Why are you kicking it now? Like, if that's your mentality, go for it.
I don't hate it that bad.
I didn't like it at all
as much. At that point, that made it a 10 to 14 game, right?
10-7 lead for the Cardinals.
Oh, okay. Well, I hate it. I mean, I don't really know. Go ahead with it.
I understand really it. Get the point.
I'm still kind of like, if that's dazed.
I understand it. We could get into it all day. I'm just saying, for me, it's like you just did it twice. Like, why are you giving up now? It's worked. Go. Like, whatever. Doesn't matter. Cardinals go up 10-7 after that fucking long drive. We've talked about it over and over and over in this stretch. They move the ball and you kick field goals instead of scoring touchdowns. Ended up costing them. Seattle scores or answers on the next drive. They convert a couple 3rd and 8s, 3rd and 10s. It's 3rd and 10 on like the Cardinals like 15 or something. They convert, get down to the Cardinals 3. The very next play, he hits Lockett on an out route. Borders, the guy that they just signed off came off the practice squad, was in coverage, gives up that touchdown. Now it's 14-10 Seahawks. Cardinals punt. Seahawks go down the field, get a field goal with 1:25 left. Cardinals have 2 timeouts though. and the ball at half. Okay, maybe we can get something going. And at this point, Kyler takes a terrible sack on second down that not loses 12 yards or something like that. I noticed more in this game. He was sacked 5 times, and they were never in like they never rushed the line or right back at like were right in his face from the get-go. He held onto the ball for a long time and never had an escape route. Like there was chances he had plenty of time to at least get the ball away, and at least 3 or 4 of those he held on too long. And I would say he tried to make a play, but he didn't do his patented spin out or roll out. And on a couple of them, it didn't seem like the Seahawks really had him pinned. He just,
I just think all too long. It was so, I mean, there's nothing frustrating than watching Kyler Murray, who has these God-gifted legs and running ability, sit in the pocket like a duck and just get sniped at. Get the fucking ball pocket. It's I don't know. It's just frustrating to me.
Yeah. So Cardinals end up having to just let the clock run out and go into half. So at halftime, Russell Wilson's playing very good. The Cardinals were a little inconsistent, but they're moving the ball enough. They just weren't able to punch in touchdowns. So second half, where at this point, the Rams and Niners, the Niners make a comeback and it's 17-17. So the Cardinals down 7, drive down the field. Kyler is moving around. He's making plays. He dumps it off to James Conner for 5 yards when he catches it, pushes off the linebacker. Great balance to get around another corner and dives into the end zone, ties it up at 17. At that point, it's like, okay, we're good to go. The Niners are coming back. The Cardinals have tied it up. We've got our momentum right back. And the Cardinals kick it away. And then Russ throws the pick to Jalen Thompson, sets it up, and he returns it all the way back to the 1. We're like, okay, things are fucking sitting pretty. It was still tied at 17-17 in LA. At that point, I'm paying a little more attention because it's getting closer, and it's not just like, okay, we want a feel good story, good win to go into the offseason or into the playoffs. We have a chance to fucking get that division. James Conner ends up punching it in for the second touchdown, and then teams trade punts again. Russell Wilson comes down and on a broken coverage hits Freddie Swain. Isaiah Simmons is the only player in the vicinity on the left side of the field. There's nobody within 10 yards. So they score and they tie it up at 31. Am I going just way too much in depth? I took a lot of notes.
No, you're not.
Okay. I like to make sure that you're still with me here.
Yeah, I'm following.
So that ties it up 24-24 actually. Simultaneously, Jimmy G throws a fucking red zone pick and the Rams get the ball back when the Niners were right there, at least to kick a field goal to go up 20-17. So it seemed like every time something good was happening for the Cardinals, something good was happening for the Niners. And then when something bad would happen to the Cardinals, the Niners would fuck up. It was like they were very connected.
Yeah.
On the next drive, Kyler takes another 2 of those bad sacks on second and third down, holds the ball way too long. And then there's the fucking botched Andy Lee punt. So I don't know. I kind of understand his headspace. Like if you think he's blocking the punt, you have to know he's blocking the punt to hold on to it and not just kick it away. But he looked like the most unathletic man to ever be a professional football player.
I don't think that he couldn't have got the punt off. He couldn't have got it off. He did what I think should have been done, except the part where he fumbled and looked like a fucking, I don't even
picks
like
it up. No,
it was bad.
Stops the punt, but he's already dropped the ball when he decides to not kick it. So he drops the ball and he doesn't kick it, picks it up, rolls out, drops it again, gets hit, and Seahawks recover it, and they got the ball at the Cardinals' 10-yard line. To me, it looked more like, if anything, he was going to hit him higher. If you hit him higher and he doesn't tip the ball, then that's roughing the kick or punter, and we would have got an automatic first down. Either way, it was ugly as shit in a huge.
Let's not judge him on his. He's a punter.
Well, that's your one fucking. That's your one job.
But
that's your one job.
Yeah,
that's
I guess. But
so, if you fuck up in any capacity, then I'm gonna say something about it. So, at the let's see, they punched it in. Who scored? Russell Wilson runs it in. He puts his shoulder into Buddha there,
which was kind of cool. Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
Good for you, Russell Wilson. But I didn't expect once him and Buddha's running full speed. Once they met, I did not expect Russell Wilson to still be going forward.
I thought on the replay, Buddha didn't. It almost like if Buddha would have like wrapped up on him, I feel like he would have probably just stopped him in his tracks. But he kind of like Russell's running this way, and Buddha kind of was like a little bit behind, like nicked his right shoulder. Like it was kind of weird. Like I felt like Buddha kind of let up on him, which is probably his instinct, just because of all the rules and stuff that have been put in place. But
yeah. So as I said earlier, Seahawks score. Now it's 31-24. That means the Rams are scoring. And literally all these things are happening within seconds. Within like a minute, the Cooper Kupp scores a touchdown in LA and the Rams go up 24-17. There's only 3 minutes to go in that game at that point. On the following drive, Kyler takes another bad sack on second down. That was the 5th sack of the game. And that set up the 3rd and 18, and the Cardinals just white flag up on that drive. Mm-hmm. Let's just run a draw. James Conner converts it. He gets all the way down, gains 19 on 3rd and 18 from our own like 12-yard line, but he gets banged up, and we're sitting there. The Rams are winning right now. Why is James Conner even in the game? Like it's a very like bad feeling, bad vibe situation. It looked like ribs. I don't know what. I haven't seen anything.
I don't. This hasn't ever. I feel like I've never read this or heard this take before, but I'm gonna kind of throw this out there. I want to hear what you think about this.
Okay.
I feel like Cliff Kingsbury owes James Conner like his job, like half his salary. If Cliff Kingsbury,
the blood of the off, like he has carried us.
If Cliff Kingsbury did not have James Conner on his team, Cliff Kingsbury probably wouldn't be in the playoffs, and Cliff Kingsbury probably wouldn't have a job at this point.
Yeah,
he's probably been fired at this
point. He's
point.
Literally, like I said,
is that a hot take?
Back several times. No, I mean not as far as he owes him his job, but like the Cardinals' offensive success this season has been. I'd still say Kyler Murray is probably the most valuable to that, but I mean, fucking James Conner is right there. Like
I don't know if you've seen there's been like a viral tweet in the Cardinals Twitter community. It was signed Christian Kirk, AJ Green, or who was the third one?
Zach Ertz.
Or Zach Ertz. Who would you keep in that?
Not AJ Green. We'll get to that,
okay.
But yeah. I'm out on him. We talked about him last week. Is he meeting expectation? Is he missing? He fucking sucked today.
Yep.
3 or 4 missed drop passes, the offensive pass interference when it was already a perfectly thrown ball. You didn't need to extend your arm out. We'll get to that, but no, you don't fucking see.
I'd take Ertz. I'd take Ertz.
Well, yeah, Ertz. I think is probably Ertz and Connor are like number one priorities. I think. That's for another show. We'll get to that in the fucking off season. But after the 3rd and 18 conversion, Zach Ertz made a couple big plays on like 3rd and 10s. I don't know what his exact numbers, but he had a couple like 15+ yard catches.
He played well.
They get down and the Cardinals only get 3 points, 31-27 with 6 minutes to go as the Niners and Rams are going into overtime. And then the 62-yard fucking touchdown by Rashad Penny. So that made it 38-27 with 4:34 to go. We hit that 5-minute mark and everything just came tumbling down. Now it went opposite. The Rams or the Niners do go into overtime and they are making plays as we are not. They kick the field goal and then hold the Rams, and the Niners end up winning the game. Cardinals, it was again, we see at the end of the game, it was similar to the Colts and the Rams game. You're down 2 scores late. There's 4:34 when you get the ball back after you're down 38-27.
You call screenplays.
That and what do you do? They get plus side of the 50-yard line. You're down 2 scores. You need points no matter what. They get down there. Around 3 minutes to go, maybe like 2:57, clock's just running. There's not really urgency. They're not even really taking shots to the end zone. There's fucking screen passes to AJ Green and hitting AJ Green over the middle and Ertz over the middle. There's no like, okay, gotta have it. They end up running the clock down all the way to fucking a minute 17 or 13 and have to kick the field goal anyway. Kick the fucking field goal when there's as much time as possible.
See, I
have all 3
disagree.
timeouts.
I understand, but I disagree because I would rather have to kick a field like here. Let me try and explain this because I have it in my mind.
I already understand.
I would rather score the touchdown while there's time, while you have some sort of time left, and I would rather try and get a field goal second whenever you have less time.
For sure.
Right. That makes sense, right?
Absolutely. They got it all the way down to 1:13. You have 3 timeouts.
Right.
I get it. Take your shots until the 2-minute warning. Take your shots until the 2-minute warning is what I'm saying. Once the 2-minute warnings came, you lost another timeout, and then you wasted another fucking 45 seconds.
But if you're at the 2-minute warning and it's if it's first down and you're on the opponent's 25-yard line,
then take your shots to the fucking end zone to where it's incomplete and the time stops, or you keep going and get more shots. Don't throw a screen past AJ Green. And you can't call your timeouts because you've got to save them.
I think we're on the same page. It just boils down that.
I know. I'm just pissed.
Shots need to be taken to the end zone.
That was the one that another one at the end of the game where you just.
And I've said this two or 3 weeks ago. Cliff, he's not good at that shit, and that's something you have to. He's not good at managing a clock at the end of the game and being in control at the end of the game. I just said this 2 or 3 weeks ago. He's not good at that, and that's something that a coach who's going to win a Super Bowl or make a playoff run has to be good at, because you're not always going to have 15, 20-point leads going into the fourth quarter. If Cliff Kingsbury is a below average, terrible coach, if he does not have a lead going into the fourth quarter, he's not a good coach in that scenario. And that's something that he has to get better at if anything's going to become.
I understand what you're saying, but counterpoint, not very many coaches are good when they're trailing in the fourth quarter, because most of the time you lose.
The ones that win Super Bowl,
if you're losing at that point. So now you're down 8 with 1:13 to go. Another thing that fucking grinded my gears badly. It ultimately didn't matter, but at the time, why are you onside kicking the ball? You saved your 3 timeouts for that reason. You've got them all right there. You stop them 3 times, you get the ball back with like a minute left after they punted away. I get now, since you wasted so much time, you kind of have to go for broke. But what's the point of saving those timeouts then? Like if you're gonna kick an onside kick, then take your timeouts when you're down in the red zone and don't let the time get all the way down to a minute left. If you know you're going to onside kick and you're going to go for broke for that one play, then make sure that you have more time to go down the field if you recover it. None of it made sense. The Seahawks recover it anyway, and they don't stop the run. What do you fucking know? They don't stop the run, and the Seahawks were able to end the game in 2 plays because there was 2 first downs. It was a game 38-30. Don't take advantage of what the Niners did for us. And they finished with a 3-6 record at home. That's really bad, huh?
Yeah,
can we just go through we'll go through some negative stats now. So they finished 3-6 at home. We've hit on the nail on the head many times. Started 7-0 and only finished with 11 wins. To win 4 games out of the next however many.
Kind of the old Kyler Murray, Cliff Kingsbury MO. Start hot.
Right. Everybody's heard it a million times. Like, oh yeah, well they fizzle out. Yeah, no shit. But it sucks. And like, there's numbers that show. There was a month ago, the Cardinals, per FBI and whatever, FPI, like Football Insiders, whatever that is in Vegas, had a 95.2% chance of winning the NFC West. In like 1 month, they fell on their face so fucking hard. They go 1-4 to close out. And if the Rams would have won today, they would have lost the division by 2 games, 2 full football games. If the Rams won the football game today, and they were at a 95% chance to win the division a month ago. So we're all in a bad spot for sure. Some positives for next week. Because the Rams lost to the Niners, and because the Cowboys beat the Eagles on Saturday, the Rams will drop to the number 4 seed and the Cardinals are the 5 seed. So we will go to LA to play the Rams in round 1. Positives. JJ Watt is going to be back. So that's good. We're 7-0 when JJ Watt plays football for the Cardinals. Cool. The Cardinals won 37-20 in LA earlier this season. That was cool. Remember that when we were like, oh yeah, we got the monkey off our back. We kicked the crap out of the Rams. Cardinals are 8-1 on the road.
They're going to lose.
Is that for you?
I'm telling you right now.
Listen, I would feel the same if we were playing. I would rather play the Rams than the Niners this next week. The Rams don't look very good.
Would you rather play the Rams than Dallas?
Yes.
I would rather have had Dallas.
I think I'd rather play the Rams.
I don't know. There is not like an ounce of me that has any faith at all. Like I said,
to be fair, I'll get to the negatives. We're dog shit. So that's a negative.
Yeah.
As of right now, we're not a good football team. We were 1-4 in our last 5 games. I did not see this coming. It seems like right now, all like everything that it was before, and you lost those games, and it's like, holy shit, like everyone is the world's falling. I was like, okay, we're at a bad stretch. If we would have had the stretch at the beginning of the season and like we won our games and that, like, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. The media wouldn't be freaking out. I don't know what it was about this game that just fucking really pushed me off the cliff along with the Cardinals.
Even though if it's for me, if it's so much the actual, like it's mostly just Kyler. Like the only thing that was keeping me in good standing and in good hopes was him, but I've lost that with him. I don't have that.
He didn't play anymore. A bad game.
I'm not saying he did, but he's not going to be I don't know. I don't want to say something I'm going to regret or that I don't mean to say just because I'm pissed off in the moment. But I've seen people talk about do you want a quarterback who's never lost in high school and college, who doesn't really know how to take losing? And that's that Kyler is that guy who has never lost. And you're kind of seeing the negative effects of a guy who's never lost. He doesn't know what to do with himself.
He has, though.
He handle
He's
it.
losing now, and he lost last year and the year before. Yeah. So
eventually
he'll get used to it, I imagine.
I guess, but he doesn't know. As of right now, he can't. I just feel like he doesn't know what to do with it, which is what I'm saying. It's a good trait that your quarterback does not take losing well, but you also have to keep in mind that your quarterback is the numero uno mood setter on your team, and how he acts is how the team acts. Whenever I see my starting quarterback acting like a bitch on the football field, I lose all my confidence.
My argument I made to you was that he wasn't a Russell Wilson leader. Like that's not who he was. He was more
right.
It checks out. You made the basketball comparison. I made the basketball. I said he is more of a Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan leader. Like he's going to be fucking pissed off and he's going to be in your face and angry.
The difference between, I'll stop you there.
And I don't even know if that's a good thing in football is my point. I don't know if that's.
I'm saying the difference between Kyler Murray and like a Kobe Bryant leadership style is whenever Kobe Bryant was losing, he would take accountability for it, and he would not he wouldn't bitch at refs. He would chew out his players, but he wouldn't. The main thing is bitching at calls and just pouting. Kobe Bryant would never did that. Michael Jordan never did that. He would get on his players if they fucked up, but everything else he would take on himself. He said, "Yeah, that's my bad." He would not bitch at the refs and make excuses that it seems like Kyler's doing. Just the way he acts whenever he does shitty things is what I cannot get over.
I don't like that.
I don't.
That it's the throwing the hands up. There's a lot of just throwing the hands up. I understand. I see what you're saying. I see what
I can't do. I just can't. I cannot fucking do it with that anymore. That's got to go. I don't. And
see what he does,
but the thing is no one in that building can check him. No, Cliff can't check him because Cliff's on the fucking hot seat. It'd be different.
Somebody will fucking check him. He'll get checked. JJ Watt will fucking check him if he goes and does the same shit this offseason. There's no way that people in that building, if this collapse continues and they go to LA and get their shit blown out, that guys like JJ won't step up and make it a point where this doesn't continue.
I don't see that just because I could see Chandler maybe, but I don't obviously I don't know these people personally. I just know from the outside looking in. I don't think JJ's been there long enough to have the authority to do that. Cliff can't fucking do anything to him because Cliff's on the hot seat himself. Cliff, this Kyler, this basically this girl that Cliff's been trying to date for so long, and then they fucking got paired. They got forcefully paired together. Cliff doesn't have any say over what Kyler does. Bidwell's not going to say anything. Kime's not going to say anything because they all are so invested in him that they're going to let him do whatever the fuck he wants.
I'll say right now, you are right that Bill Bidwell won't say anything because rest in peace, Bill. Michael won't say anything. Who knows?
But I'm just
we'll see what happens.
If Kyler were under Belichick, then Belichick would be able to check him and say, "Listen, quit. You're fucking this all up, fucking up the whole morale." but there's no one that can do that to him. That's why I'm worried. That's why it's
Larry.
to me.
Larry
would fucking check his ass into next week, and I miss that. I wish he was around. I feel like this fall wouldn't have been so Larry was still around because he's the one guy who's been who's been there for so long who
well, I love that theory, but he was there for the collapse last year, so he didn't really put a halt to it then either. But either way,
like this collapse is more
it's
personality
worse.
And it's not. I feel like last year it was more talent. We just didn't have the talent to make a big run. This year it's more morale and personality and attitude.
The talent's been there.
So
We've had the talent. It's been bad. All right. I don't even know if I want to go around the league. We can look at the NFC playoff picture and break down the matchups.
Let's just kind of break down the playoff pictures for both sides. Or even
because the games, the people that didn't make the playoffs, who really cares? So yeah, I don't know if I had really anything else about the game. Like we said, we'll be going to LA in round 1 as the 5 seed. I'm interested to see what game that is. Like, I fucking hope it's not the Nickelodeon game, dude. I don't want to watch that game on Nickelodeon. I also don't want it to be the Monday night game either, because there's going to be a Monday
I believe
night
that if they put it on Nickelodeon, you can still watch it on like a normal program.
I hope
it's not only
that's the
Nickelodeon.
case.
Because whenever it was the Saints and the Bears last year, and they had 2 separate, like you could watch it on a normal feed, and then you could also watch it on
okay, solid. So yeah, then we got the 6 seed versus the 3. Dallas moves up to the 3 with the Rams loss. They're going to take on the Niners at home. The Niners are going to win that football game. Do you want to bet on it?
Who do they play again? The Cowboys.
They play the Cowboys. This sucks.
I know why you're saying that.
And I have a feeling, and guess what? Who they'll play next? The Bucks, probably, because the Bucks play the Eagles. We'll get to that. I think the fucking Niners, I hate this. I want to punch myself in the face. I think the Niners are going to play in the NFC championship game.
I see why you say that. I don't think that. I think that the only reason I won't let you get away with that is because I think the Bucks are a lot better.
Oh, you think that?
And Jimmy
okay.
and Jimmy Garoppolo.
Literally,
I think the Bucks and Packers are that much better than everybody else. I think that the Niners will beat us. I think that the Niners will beat the Cowboys. I think that the Niners would beat obviously the Eagles. But I don't think that they're going to beat your Green Bay. I don't think that they're going to beat your.
Okay, point still stands. I think the Niners are very dangerous. But if the Niners won and the Bucks won, then they would be the lowest seed remaining, and they'd go to the Packers in the divisional round. Yeah. So that wouldn't happen.
I don't see that happening.
Either way, I think the Niners are winning a playoff game. Absolutely.
I could buy that. Yeah. I could buy that.
I don't know. The Cowboys look like world beaters at times, and then you watch them when they played us. They were very slow all game, and then the next week they play the Eagles, and the Eagles aren't playing everybody. Some people are out, but they put up 56 or something like that.
Yeah.
But the Cowboys, they kept playing. I don't know. I don't know about Dak. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But this brand of football, it sounds cheesy to say, this like style of football that the Niners play it's playoff time to fucking go. Play tough defense. Joey Bosa coming off the edge, they don't even need to bring pressure. They've got such a good front 4 where you can still drop guys into coverage and make it hard on quarterbacks. And that run game, Deebo Samuel is a fucking freak. I want a Deebo Samuel. Somebody will give me a Deebo Samuel for this team because he's a stud and very fun to watch. I will predict right now that the Niners win that game. And then we've got, like I said, Eagles at Bucks. Who knows? I mean, like the Washington football team last year gave the Bucks a really tough wild card game. It came down to, I think they only won by like 3 or something like that. This team,
the only team that I think is going to beat the Bucks in the NFC is going to be the Packers. And I know
I'm not that high on the Bucks. I think the Rams.
I don't like to bet against Brady in the playoffs at all. I just don't do that. That's not a smart thing to do. I know you're not the highest guy, but you don't bet against Tom Brady in the playoffs. I don't think anybody could be upset the Packers.
But at some point, he's going to lose and be fucking old. And I'm not saying that's right now. He's probably the top 3 MVP, but the they've just not looked great. You fucking barely squeezed by the Jets. You're down 24-10 at one point in that game. Today, at times, the Panthers game was kind of close. I don't know. Eventually I do think it'll be the Bucks, and then the next round we'll see what happens. I don't know. NFC I feel like is really the Packers conference to lose. I think they're clear cut the best team in the NFL altogether, but you play the games for a reason. So we'll see. Likely if the Bucks do win, and let's say the Cowboys do beat the Niners, Cardinals' next stop would be Green Bay. So they would play the Packers in their first game after coming out of their bye. So we'll do a whole, actually, I don't know if I told you that we're going to have a guest on, we're going to try and record Tuesday or Wednesday. Cardiac Mac at AZ Sports Fiend. Probably a lot of you guys that listen to this follow us on Twitter. Also follow him. We're going to do a little playoff preview episode with him. Have that out to you later on this week. But did you have an AFC side? I don't know. Let me pull that up. I haven't looked at the AFC seeding, how it fell. It's still up in the air due to the Jags losing and the Raiders and the Chargers game right now that's happening. Right. It turns out they're not just taking a knee. They are playing a lot. That was a fun little theory that everybody had. Yeah. The deal was that because of the Colts loss, the Chargers and Raiders would both make the playoffs with a tie. So if you don't want to risk losing, you could both just walk up to each other and say, hey, let's just knee this fucking thing out and tie, and we'll both go to the playoffs. Doesn't look like that's happening. The Raiders are up 3-0, and there was a handoff. I saw it. They didn't take a knee, so looks like they're playing this one out.
I don't have. I don't think at the AFC that it's clear as cut as like there's not as big of a drop off from the elite teams to the teams who shouldn't be there. I think to me it's kind of the Chiefs' division to lose at this point. Despite their first 5 or 6 game rough stretch, they've been the clear-cut best team in the AFC, I believe. Titans, to their credit, which I don't like giving them any credit, they've held on to the 1 seed by the grace of God. If they get Derrick Henry back, maybe they can make some noise, but I would not bet on any Titans game. I believe at this point it's kind of the Chiefs to lose.
I think if I were to place a bet, I'd probably bet on the Chiefs. Yeah. I don't know who gets in if like the Charter or if the Raiders do. Are the Steelers in if the Raiders lose?
The only way that the Steelers the Steelers will not get in if they both tied. So whoever wins is in, and then whoever wins is in. Whoever loses, the Steelers are going to be in as long as.
So the winner will be the 6th seed.
And then Steelers will be 7.
So Steelers are looking like they'll go to Kansas City in the first round. They just played a couple weeks ago. What was the score of that game? Like 40-something to 10. Like not close. That game was in Kansas City. So I wouldn't expect anything different there, but we've seen crazier things. And then I'll say Raiders, since they're up right now. Raiders/Chargers would go to Buffalo. I don't like that for either team. I don't know why I'm still drawn to the Chargers. I think the Chargers would have a better shot at taking on the Bills. But I expect the Bills to win that game too. And then 4 and 5 are the Bengals and Patriots. It'll be in Cincinnati. I think out of all the games, I think I'm circling that one besides the Cardinals and Rams. That should be a very good football game.
Yeah, I agree.
Riding the Patriots.
I have a lot of confidence. Yeah, I have a lot of I would put the Patriots in my. If I would re-rank all the teams that ended up making the playoffs, I think I'd probably have Patriots at 2.
Out of all,
I would go
AFC and NFC.
I would go no. I'm talking about the AFC. In the AFC, my number 1 AFC team would be the Chiefs. My number 2 team would be the Patriots. My number 3 team. It's
Bills,
tough between
Bengals,
the Bills and the Titans. But I'm going to go Titans at 3. I'm going to go Bills at 4.
We have to shout out the Titans. I know
I'm not doing it. You can do it. You can say whatever you want, but I won't say anything about the Titans.
We've given them so much shit, and to end up at 12-5, 1 seed or not, to end up at 12-5 without Henry and some of the injuries that they've had to go through. It's impressive and good for
Their
them. They're getting
Their
people
division's really easy. They get
That's
to play
very
6
easy.
easy games a year.
It's very easy.
Sure, congrats,
They beat the
Titans.
Colts
You got
twice, and
hung
the
on to
Colts beat
1
us
seed.
though. So
Yep, congrats. You hung on to the 1 seed.
and they'll get Henry back. And
doubt it.
It's
I
another
doubt
week.
they fucking will.
you don't
They
think he'll
won't get
play?
him back. Nope. I would if I was him. Oh, I would he?
He's gonna
No,
play.
yeah. Go Patriots.
All right. I don't know, guys. This is tough. I mean,
Bad boy hours.
if you look at it, it's 0-0, baby. Everybody's 0-0. Who
Fresh
knows what
start.
can happen? I'll be honest. I'm not writing them off. I think the Rams are a bad football team. Not a bad football team. I don't think the Rams are a great football team.
I think the Rams are better than the Cardinals at this point. Might just be recency bias, but I don't know. I've seen
You're
the worst.
on Kyler. If you haven't watched fucking Stafford the past month, throw like 7 picks.
I haven't watched him as much, but
he's been very bad. So we'll just say better quarterbacks, Kyler. We're gonna win the game. We'll see what happens. But we'll have a full preview of the game.
We'll see.
Coming for you later in the week. Yeah, this is the last regular season episode of Two Birds, One Stone. So it was a good year, good regular season for the most part. I mean, we won more games than we lost.
A lot of ups and downs.
Lots up and downs.
Yep. I appreciate all the listeners.
Yeah. So
all 7 of you.
Yep. We got a few more than that. A few, not very many more. But thank you to you 7. And please rate and review us on YouTube, like us, subscribe, and all that fun shit.
Come at me on Twitter. I want to argue with people on Twitter.
Yeah,
about stuff. No one ever comes at me because I think they can't handle the smoke. Probably
that's probably what it is.
Yeah. But yeah, get at my Twitter.
Yeah. All right. Follow me on Twitter too if you don't already. I'm 30 away from 500. That was the goal.
What do I have right now? Like 200 something.
I don't think you're at 200 yet.
Oh well, we're close. We're well on our way.
All right, fellas and ladies. We'll talk to you guys again later this week. Good luck to you all. Don't let it eat at you that bad. We beat them before. We'll beat them again. Let's go on a run. Let's go on a magical run, boys and girls. All right. See y'all later. Go Birds.
Bye.